Okay, yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our live information session. We're really excited to have you here. My name is Cecilia Lapoli, and I'm a study abroad advisor here at Chico State. And we're going to be talking today specifically about a faculty-led program to Ecuador. I have Tom Grote here with me, who can introduce himself.
I'm Tom Grote. Hello, everyone. I am a faculty member in the Communication Arts and Sciences Department. My specialty is in cross-cultural communication and training. And this trip to Ecuador will be my 8th time either leading a faculty-led program or being a visiting professor on a faculty-led program. So thanks for joining us today.
Awesome. So I did my study abroad in Santiago, Chile my sophomore year, so that was kind of the thing that kicked off this international bug that I have and also why I'm in this position today. And I'm really excited because I got to join on this trip as support staff. So we're just going to be going over basics of the program. We're going to be answering some questions. We also have two students. One student that is from Ecuador and another student that actually did a program with AIFS in the Galapagos. So we'll have some really good information for you here today. And before we launch in, I just wanted to say that you can find most of our information on our Study Abroad webpage. If you go under the Trek section, I'll go over that in a second, but we'll have all of the program information on our Study Abroad website that you can access through CSU Chico. Okay, so faculty-led program to Ecuador. It's going to be this summer, summer 2019, and it is a high support program that's going to be excellent for anyone that hasn't traveled abroad by themselves before, is looking to get some academic credit done. It is a low-cost option. It is kind of a hands-on approach. You're going with a faculty member and a staff member from Chico State, an intimate group from Chico, students that are attending Chico State, and also we can welcome any students that are not attending Chico State as well. You just have to be a university student. So all is welcome. We have cultural activities in addition to the 2 courses that are going to be offered. You get 6 units towards upper division general education, and I'll go more into that after we describe the classes. So Tom, if you want to go into what classes we're taking, a little bit about the program.
Sure, great. So why Ecuador? I want to give you a little bit of a trip overview and tell you the thinking behind this program and what it's all about. The idea of this program is for students to have a deep level cultural immersion experience with a focus on sustainability. Ecuador is a very safe, friendly country. It is beautiful. It is the place where we're going to be staying is in the Andes Mountains. It's surrounded by volcanoes, lakes, rivers. There's an Amazon basin in the country of Ecuador. So it's a place of great natural beauty. And it has a thriving indigenous culture. The Andes region in our hemisphere is one of the only places where there's a real thriving indigenous culture. And what makes this program particularly special for me is in 2008, Ecuador changed their constitution. They adopted a Bill of Rights for Mother Nature, and they were the first country to do such a thing. The values of the people having a harmony with nature lifestyle and actually having constitutional articles that protect Mother Nature is a really interesting place to study sustainability. Okay, so our program at Chico State is in partnership with the University of San Francisco de Quito. This is a very prestigious university in Ecuador. It is the first private university in the country, and it's the first liberal arts institution in the entire Andes region. Academically, it ranks as one of the top 3 universities in the country. And it's the only university in the world that owns a campus on the Galapagos Islands. It's a research station in one of the most biodiverse places in the world. Okay, one last fact about USFQ. Half of the people in Ecuador that have a doctorate degree are on faculty at this university. So it's a pretty prestigious place, and we're happy to have this partnership with them. Students on the program will take 2 classes. One class is called Ecuadorian Art and Culture, and it's taught by a local faculty from USFQ. In that class, you'll learn about the people of Ecuador, you'll learn about the languages, the customs, the geography, the gastronomy, the music of Ecuador, and the class includes many trips to museums, interactions with local people, etc. The class I'm teaching is called Cross-Cultural Communication and Sustainability. So we look at some of those themes, like how do human beings relate to their natural environment? And we compare and contrast the United States culture with an Ecuadorian, more harmonious with nature culture. And we look at their rights of nature in their constitution in the context of globalization. You know, it's 2019 and there are multinational corporations who want to go into Ecuador and extract their resources. There are global financial institutions like the IMF and the World Bank and the WTO that all have their hands in Ecuador. And there are NGOs and IGOs and people who are trying to help, and Ecuadorians need to try to also preserve their indigenous culture among all of this, the interplay of these variables. So that's what my course explores. And really, climate change presents a grave existential threat to us. And we need to learn and be more creative about our approaches to how we can live with our natural environment. So this program explores those issues in greater depth. Okay, so what does it look like? What's a typical day? You're going to wake up in Kumbaya with a homestay family. This partnership program that we have with USFQ has been doing these programs for a long time. We are a new partner. So they have long-term relationships with families that have been hosting students for years. In fact, there are over 1,000 international students at this university. So it's a very international place. You will get breakfast, because breakfast and dinner at your homestay family is included throughout the week. And we'll talk about the excursions in a little bit, but all your meals are included when we go on excursions. Okay, after breakfast, you'll head over to campus. And as I hope you can see, these are a couple of images of what the campus looks like. It's in Kumbaya. And the campus has research and educational labs. It has a large library, classrooms, of course. And the campus has 7 restaurants on it, so lots of options for lunch. The cross-cultural communication and sustainability class goes from 9 to 11. Then you have lunch, and then from 1 to 3 you have the Ecuadorian art and culture class. This will be a Monday through Friday schedule. Your afternoons are free to roam around the city of Quito or Kumbaya, although on some afternoons we do have some planned excursions, like a historic city tour of Quito, trips to museums. There's even a trip to this place called Middle of the World. It's right at the equator, so you can put one foot on the south side of the equator, one foot on the north side of the equator. So there are some excursions like that during the week. This image here is of Quito. Quito is adjacent to Kumbaya, so you can see what the big city in Ecuador is like, and you can spend a lot of your free time exploring Quito as well. Okay, so the afternoons are free. Sometimes there are excursions in the afternoons during the week, sometimes. And then as far as the weekends go, I'd like to just talk with you a little bit about what the weekend excursions are planned for the trip. So the first, we arrive, we get picked up at the airport, we have 1 week of classes, and then the first weekend there is a full day trip to the Mindo Cloud Forest. This is a region that is in the valley of the Andes Mountains. It's surrounded by volcanoes. There are 450 unique birds, numerous butterfly species, a variety of animals and reptiles unique to this region. We then have a free day on that weekend for you to do what you like. The next weekend, we have a full weekend trip to Salasaka. This is an indigenous mountain community. It's off the beaten path, and again, going back to the idea that this is a culturally rich, immersive experience. What you see in that image are people that are not dressing up for tourists. These are Andean people who live raising livestock, making handicrafts, and doing the agricultural activities that their ancestors have been doing for hundreds of years. And so this program gives us access to a place like this that normally people wouldn't be able to come to. Okay, we go back for another week of classes, and then the following weekend, we go to Quito Lake. This lake last erupted in the 13th century, and it created this gaping caldera that is about 2 miles across. It's filled with this beautiful turquoise water, and there are these well-worn hiking trails all along that area. There are, when we go there, we will hike the trails. You'll see the indigenous people farming, sheep herding, usually with a llama or two, dressed in traditional clothing. And if you get too tired by the time you get down to the lake, you can always ride a donkey on the way back. So, so there's that option for you. Okay. And the last weekend that we're there, we go to a place called Otavalo. Again, in the Andean highlands, an indigenous community surrounded by volcanoes, and it's known for its indigenous market. It's in a very old market that is along a Andean highland path, and maybe it's a good place to get some souvenirs before you get home. So there's obviously so much more, but in a nutshell, this is the overview of the program and a little bit about the classes and the excursions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom. I think everyone's going to really enjoy all of those excursions. I'm really excited myself. So just to talk about logistics, if you haven't visited the study abroad office before and you're curious about how to begin, I just want to talk about some of the first steps. So if you go to the study abroad office, we can sign you up for an info session. You actually don't have to sign up. You can just attend to get the schedule. We offer them 4 days a week. And that will give you the first steps on how to create a TREC application, which is what we need for you to apply for the program. And then after that, you can meet with an advisor for first-time advising. And you can already submit an application, and that is on our TREC account. So at the info session, you'll be given more information on how to do that. So again, you can visit the CSU Chico Study Abroad website, and all the info sessions are listed on the page, as well as the information about this program. So just to begin, the requirements for the program are pretty simple. You just have to have a 2.0 GPA. You do not have to be a CSU Chico student. There's a different process if you are not a CSU Chico student, but you can always get in contact with us if you have further questions. But basically, you apply for the program by creating a TREC account, and then we will send you information about what the next steps are. But I just wanted to briefly talk about what the credits that you receive are on this program. So you will be getting 6 academic credits towards general education. They're upper division, and it's going towards your social science and humanities section of your GE pathway if you are a Chico student. And if you're not a Chico student, you can go visit your advisor at your home campus and ask about how those credits will transfer and how that will help you progress in your degree to finish at your 4-year institution. So you also get diversity or global cultures credit, and then also credit for a W-2 requirement, which is a writing requirement.
Can I add one?
Yes,
one more
of
thing?
course, absolutely.
So all of these requirements are on this slide, and there's one more way in which you can knock out a graduation requirement. If you are a communication studies major, you need 6 units of elective in either your organizational communication option or your public affairs option. The CMST 398 class satisfies satisfies an elective in either one of those options. So if you're a communication studies major, you can also get that graduation requirement in addition to all the others. Thank you.
That's great, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that covers what credit you're getting for the program, and if, like I said, you can get some of it to, or like Tom said, you can get some of it to double count. So also some of the program fees, that's all listed on the website, but it is $5,100 for the program itself. That includes the course fees, the homestay, the meals, the health insurance, the TREC fee to open an application, and this does not include airfare. Now, talking about the finances, it's really important to go see a financial aid advisor if you receive financial aid, because there is some ways that you can maybe get some of your financial aid to cover the cost of this program or cover a portion of it. So go speak with your financial aid advisor, because each person has an individual package that they're receiving. So it's important to go talk to them so you can know what it is that can be applied towards this program.
That's right.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right back into where we left off. Sorry about that, we had technical difficulties for a second. So I just wanted to go over, again, just opportunities for financing the program. So we have scholarships on our page for study abroad. It's under scholarships and funding. We have a program-specific scholarship for faculty-led in particular. And the requirements are very simple. You also need a 2.0 GPA to apply, and a letter of recommendation, so that it's pretty simple. Just go ahead and take a look at it. You can start an application already. And that isn't due until, I think, April 1st. Yes, April 1st. And then we also have other scholarships like the Wildcat, which is due March 15th, which is around the corner. So go ahead and take a look at that if you haven't applied for that scholarship already. And you can indicate study abroad, and that will open up a whole nother section and will get you eligibility for lots of different study abroad scholarships. So that's a really great option. And like I said, go speak to a financial aid advisor if you have any questions. It's really important that you go meet with them one-on-one so they can tell you if some of your financial aid package will spill over into the summer of 2019. And excuse me, I said that the scholarship requirement was a 2.0, but it's actually a 2.5 GPA minimum requirement. Okay, so yeah, that about wraps it up. I don't know if there's anything that I missed. I'll take a look at the questions and see what I can reply to afterwards. But next we're going to bring on our students, Sam and Adam, who, well, one local who's actually from Ecuador, and then Sam who participated on the program with AIFS in summer of 2017. And so they'll be sharing a little bit about their experiences, and then we'll go into answering questions afterwards. We'll look at the comments, write some down, and then we'll be able to answer them live for you. All right, we'll welcome our students.
You go first?
You go first, please.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Samantha. I studied abroad in the AIFS Galapagos summer session of 2017, which meant I was in Quito for about 6 days, the Galapagos for 2.5 weeks, and then we also did a day trip to Otavalo as well. I'm currently a senior here at Chico State. I study ecological evolutionary biology with a minor in sustainability.
My name is Adam Finnegan. I was born and raised in Quito, Ecuador. My major is agriculture, and this is my freshman year here in Chico State. My experience in Ecuador was wonderful. I mean, I couldn't imagine of a better place to grow up and a better place to have so much beauty around you as in nature-wise. My childhood was filled with beautiful memories. Every time I was able to go outdoors and experience so much. We have so many mountain ranges, from beaches to jungles to everything. It's such a beautiful place.
For me, it was actually my first time out of the country in general, and then being a biology major, it was insane getting to be able to go to a place where it's like the theory of evolution like started. I could not, I think, have picked a better place to go as my first like out of the country experience. Everyone there was super nice, super helpful. There were times that I felt safer there than I do here, which is saying something, because I think us in America tend to think like, oh, it's scary, it's horrible going to a new country. But I mean, the experiences that I had there just like overwhelmingly like amazing. I think my favorite part of the Ecuadorian culture, besides the food, was just the kindness of like the people and the willingness, like the generosity. We stayed with a host family too. I'm still friends with every single one of them on Facebook. Like we keep in touch. The food's always super fresh, lots of juice, lots of like chicken and rice and lentils. Really.
Yeah, I miss that about home. I definitely do. My favorite part about Ecuador is the outdoors, of course. I myself am a very outdoorsy kind of person, and it's so beautiful because we could travel like 2 hours away and we could be skiing up in the mountains, and then we could travel 3 hours down south by car and be in a mountain water skiing there too. My favorite part, probably I would say it's the people there too, because to my point of view, the people from Ecuador are very similar to people from California. Very open-armed people and very kind personalities. The life in Quito is actually very nice. Climate-wise, it's very similar to California. And Quito is actually not very far away from where you'll be studying in USFQ. It's only like a 45-minute ride up, and there's public transportation wherever you look, either taxis or buses. And for students, it's only, I think, 25 cents to ride the bus. So you could easily move around there. You could easily do a lot of great things in Ecuador.
For me, obviously, I was only in Quito for about 6 days, so I didn't get the full life experience like you did, obviously. But I did have my orientation and my introduction to my classes at the University de San Francisco, and I mean, it's a beautiful campus. You guys are gonna love it. For me, daily life in Quito was a lot of free time. We didn't have classes there, but it's a lot of walking. That was a little bit weird for me because you tend to drive everywhere in the United States and everybody walks there. It's relatively cheap compared to the U.S. They do use the U.S. dollar, which definitely helps out and is very convenient. I think the best tips that I have for traveling there is layers. Because you may think you're on the equator, it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid. In Quito, I had neither of those things. It was raining and cold the first couple days I was there, so layers are always good. Pack light. Girls, don't pack your flat iron and stuff like that. It doesn't help. And then sunscreen is a big deal. You will get burned badly.
We were very high up, so that means that the sun hits us stronger, so we do need to protect ourselves better with UV rays. Also, we've got very organic food. Our life in Ecuador, we could buy probably a whole bag of 10 apples for probably $1. And you could have a whole meal with appetizers and drinks and everything for probably around in between $2 to $5. So life in Ecuador is very cheap and very nice. The people there are just awesome. And one of my tips personally would be drop your phone and just look up, and you'll see that you're surrounded by mountain ranges, and it's just a great experience to my point of view. And you guys would love to go there if you guys get the opportunity to.
And then as for scholarships, I didn't apply, but I mean, I have a job, so I allocated a lot of the money that I earned there to, and I mean, my program was shorter than this one, and it was also more expensive, so this program sounds like a really good idea. A lot more for your money.
So go visit Ecuador and tell me all about my hometown. I want to know more about it, and I hope you guys enjoy your stay, and go Ecuador.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Alrighty,
We're
thanks to our students. It looks like we answered most of the questions already, so I just wanted to thank you for joining us today. It was wonderful to have you on with us, and then if you have any questions, please come visit us in the Study Abroad office. And Tom Grote's information, we can send it out so that you can email him if you have any questions as well.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Hasta luego.